Alright, so welcome back to another one, you guys. If you were new to the channel, my name is Andrew with Younger Volvo in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on our inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So today, we're in the brand new 2026 Volvo EX90 because there is a new enhanced 800 volt architecture for 2026, which is going to lead to faster charging capability. This looks like luxury from Sweden. It's got the optional 25 speaker sound system, which we're going to be testing out here in a little bit later in the video. There's a new single motor base model now available as well, new safety, new standard panoramic glass roof, and a bunch more. But anyways, ultimately this video we will be testing out and going over everything about this one. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so there's essentially two different trim levels for the 2026 EX90. You got the Plus starting at $77,990, and then the Ultra, which is the one we are in today, starting at $86,490. The single motor comes standard, then there's a twin motor that adds $3,300 to those prices, and then there's a twin motor Performance, being the one of course we were in today. That one's going to add $8,300 then to those prices. So as I mentioned, there are three different power plants. Let me go ahead and touch on those real quick before we test out the acceleration here. The single motor power plant puts out 329 horsepower, 354 pound-feet of torque. That's plenty good right there. Power sent to the rear wheels on that one, 0 to 60 time approximately 6.6 seconds. Range comes in at 293 miles with a 10 to 80% charge in only 22 minutes. That's pretty respectable. Then there is the twin motor setup that puts out 449 horsepower, 494 pound-feet of torque. Power sent to all four wheels there, 0 to 60 time 5.3 seconds. Range is going to come in at an impressive 305 miles. Then there is the twin motor Performance. That's the one that we have with us here today. This is exciting. 670 horsepower, 642 pound-feet of torque. Power sent to all four wheels yet again, 0 to 60 time approximately 4 seconds flat. Love that, with the range again at 305 miles. So before we do any kind of fun acceleration test here in our EX90, did want to mention to you guys the drive modes is all located within this center infotainment screen. I actually just put it in performance mode, but you got comfort, performance, range, and off-road, essentially adjusting things like the steering sensitivity, the suspension settings, all-wheel drive system engagement, and the power delivery as well. So now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put the acceleration here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2026 Volvo EX90 here up to speed. All right, this is our straightaway in 3, 2, 1. Oh! Ah! That was insane, dude. I barely even got over 60. Like, that's ridiculous power for a 3-row SUV. I absolutely love it. That's brilliant power for a 3-row SUV. Like, instantaneous. No delay whatsoever. I love electric cars when it comes to acceleration. They are just so unmatched. You can't beat that. So that's absolutely wonderful. You're certainly not going to have any issues with merging onto the highway, even on the Autobahn. So absolutely wonderful there. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, believe it or not, braking is equally impressive. And so up front, you will find 15.8 inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 15.4 inch ventilated rear discs. As far as that 60-0 stopping distance goes, it comes in at 110 feet. Not that you would ever need it, because there's a one-pedal drive mode, which I just put it on. Now, you don't have to put it in that one-pedal drive. It can operate like a normal XC90 if you wanted it to, but I love one-pedal drive in electric cars because I could just take off the gas and it will come to a complete stop in this thing. It's absolutely amazing. I'm actually gonna let it come to a complete stop just to show you guys. 0, there we go. And off we go! I just lost something. Ah! Dang, I love this thing, man. So yeah, love the one pedal drive. That's gonna save you on brake pads. It's gonna save you on resurfacing brake rotors, getting new brake rotors. It's gonna save you a ton of money just because you got that one pedal drive. So I'm a massive fan of that. As far as the braking feel goes, I guess if you didn't need to use them, It's absolutely ridiculous. 60 to 0, by the way, in 110 feet. Typically, sports sedans come in the 1-teens. Typically, 3-row SUVs will come into the 130s. So 110 feet, that's stupid good braking power right there. So if somebody comes to an immediate stop in front of you, you're set. Without a doubt, you're completely set. But anyways, then touching on suspension and handling. Up front, you're going to get a double wishbone type front suspension. In the back, integral link rear suspension, but you also get an adaptive damping suspension, meaning it's going to monitor each shock absorber individually, not only adjusting to the road imperfections, giving you a smoother ride, but it also tightens up that suspension during heavy cornering, giving you better handling as well. So it really does give you the best of both worlds, but what you really notice there is the ride quality. So that's why I always like adaptive damping suspensions, at least. And then you get an active air suspension if you go with the ultra trim level that we have with us here today. So that's going to be the utmost smoothness of rides. So that's what the S-Class gives you. It gives you an adaptive damping suspension and an air suspension on top of it. So it will not get any better with ride quality than that right there. So I'm a big fan of that. And this is a self-leveling air suspension for all wheels, by the way. So it's going to stay completely level, even if you have a ton of cargo in the back or something like that. So that's always cool. And it's manually adjustable as well if you really wanted to. But overall, like I said, as far as ride quality goes, it's been 100% on point. So absolutely no issues whatsoever when it comes to the ride quality. Like I said, you shouldn't have any issues because you got the adaptive damping suspension and the air suspension. So that's absolutely brilliant there. As far as cabin noise goes, you guys could probably tell we're in an EV. It is absolutely ridiculously serene. So typically EVs will do that. They'll give you an acoustic laminated front windshield to start, which does come standard. And then the ultra trim level that we have today is also going to give you acoustic laminated side and rear window glass as well. The rear window glass a lot of times doesn't even come standard on Mercedes-Benz and BMW, but you get it here, at least in the ultra trim level that we have with us here today. So it's not going to get any more serene possible than the EX90 that we are in today. So I'm absolutely a huge fan of that. And as far as steering feel goes, it's nice. It's maybe weighted a little bit on the heavier side of things. It's definitely not a loose steering feel. It's just where the EX90s should be. So I'm a big fan of that as well. Then taking a look at rear visibility, looking out my rear view mirror there, I can actually see perfectly fine out the rear view mirror. So because of the shape of this thing, you really shouldn't have any issues when it comes to rear visibility. And in addition to that, rain sensing windshield wipers do come standard on this thing. So whenever the EX90 detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it's going to automatically turn on the windshield wipers for you. So it's just one less thing you got to worry about there. And in addition to that, again, touching on forward visibility, I am looking at a head-up display right now. So I got my speed and speed limit to the left there, and it's going to display safety features to the right there like it just did. So that is super convenient for keeping your eyes on the road there as well. So that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior now of our brand new 2026 Volvo EX90. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2026 Volvo XC90, finished in Aurora Silver. In case you were curious of our exact exterior color name, it kind of comes out pink when the sun hits it, but there is no sun today whatsoever, so I actually like the color. But let's go ahead and start with where this one is made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the number 7, indicating that the EX90 is actually built and assembled here in the US, specifically South Carolina, with the engine and transmission, of course, coming from Sweden, because Volvo is a brand headquartered in Sweden. But starting up front, body colored covered grille, of course, in typical EV fashion there. LED headlights with LED Thor's hammer daytime running lights to the side. And one of the coolest things about the EX90 is that when you turn on the headlights, those Thor's hammer daytime running lights kind of open up like an eye opening, and then you have the headlights themselves behind it. It's absolutely insane. It's something like I've never seen before. They had this, of course, last year as well, but still, I think it's pretty darn sweet. But get the automatic feature with those headlights. You also get automatic high beams. So if you have your high beams on at night and senses a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. And when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up the high beams for you there. You guys can see those little cutouts just underneath of the headlights. That, of course, is for the headlight cleaners in typical Volvo fashion there. But that pretty much rounds out the front end of this one. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the side. All right, so now since we are around to the side of this one, starting all the way to the top, you got gloss black roof rails. Rear privacy glass does come standard on this one as well. Body colored power adjustable frameless side mirrors coming standard. I love the frameless aspect to it. I think that's very high end look. They're going to be heated with integrated turn signals as well then. Got flush door handles when you're actually moving. Of course, they're not flush right now as you guys are seeing this, but that's okay. Then take a look down at the wheel setup. 20-inch gloss black diamond cut alloys for the Plus, 21-inch 8-spoke diamond cut alloys for the Ultra, and there are 22-inch designs available as well. But that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the back. All right, so now since we are around to the back of the EX90 here, starting all the way to the top, there is no shark fin antenna whatsoever. Very clean look. Mercedes does that as well. I really like it. But rear spoiler with the integrated brake light. You got LED taillights back there as well, and a very cool design to those taillights. I think they look cool at least. But rear window wiper affixed to the rear glass. You got the Volvo lettering spelled out horizontally there. EX90 badging found on the rear tailgate there, and it's going to say Twin Performance if you go with that Twin Performance trim level at least, or engine configuration, whatever you want to call it. Overall, that pretty much rounds out the exterior. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the interior of this one. All right, so now since we are around to the back of this one, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, it is a power tailgate, of course, and there is a button on the tailgate itself. That's how I opened it up at least. But once opened up, cargo capacity behind that third row comes in at 14.9 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, you can fold the third row down. That's going to bump that up to 46 cubic feet. And then with all rows folded, 75.4 cubic feet. So that's actually a decent amount. That's a respectable amount there. There's grocery bag hooks in both sides in the back there. I loved that. There's a 12-volt power outlet that back there. LED cargo lighting. I liked seeing that as well. Then if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will find a tire inflator kit and a ton of in-floor storage to put the charging cables more than likely. By the way, since we're on the cargo space, if that was not enough, there is a little bit of a frunk as well. Not as deep as some other EVs, but still a relative decent amount of space up there under the hood. So that's kind of cool to see too. But then making our way up to the third row legroom, that comes in at 31.9 inches. For reference, I'm even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had in the third row there. It's actually USB charging ports for both sides in the third row for the third row passengers. So I thought that was pretty cool. Rear ventilation, of course, and there's rear cup holders back there then as well. But then making our way up to the second row legroom, that comes in at 36.5 inches. For reference, I'm even 6 feet tall still. This is how much space I had in the second row. Rear ventilation does come standard. Got USB charging ports once again. Heated rear seats though, comes standard. You gotta appreciate that. And for the EX90, there's actually 6 or 7 seat configurations. So meaning you're either going to get captain's chairs for the second row, or you're going to get bench seating. We actually have the bench seating with us here today. So there's 2 seats in the third row, and then it's either going to be 2 or 3 seats in the second row, in case you were curious about that. But then making our way up to the front seats. Power adjustable front seats with memory settings do come standard. There's actually massaging seats for the Ultra trim level. Heated front seats are going to come standard. Ventilated front seats for the Ultra. Power side bolsters for the Ultra, and then cushion extensions are going to come standard on both trim levels. So overall, as far as seat comfort goes, it was 100% perfectly fine for me. And of course, I always love the flag of Sweden on the passenger seat. That's something Volvo always does, of course. But yeah, seat comfort 100% on point there. Then taking a look at the steering wheel, it is tilt and telescoping. It is power adjustable, that comes standard. And then a heated steering wheel is also standard, believe it or not. So it's been super toasty too, because it's kind of cold today. So I am appreciative of that. But anyways, now let's go ahead and make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. It's a key card. So there's no key fob specifically, but essentially to get in and out of this one, you just simply place it over the door handle, and then I just placed it on the wireless phone charger here and shift it into gear. That's essentially how you work this sucker. But then once started up, as far as the gauge cluster goes, it is a 9-inch digital gauge cluster. It's pretty simplistic, so I'm gonna go ahead and shift into gear to get this thing to start here. But you got digital speed front and center. The range you have left is going to be located there to the right, along with the percentage. You have what gear you're in all the way to the right. There is speed limit recognition there to the left. So overall, like I said, pretty simplistic, and honestly, I found myself not even really looking at it. I was looking at the head-up display the whole time. So yeah, it's pretty nice though. I don't mind it. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. Panoramic roof is going to come standard on this thing. LED interior lighting as well. That's always pretty cool. However, one thing I am looking for right now, and I don't seem to find it anywhere, is universal garage door openers or home link. Usually you find that, especially on luxury automakers, but I don't see it at the bottom of the rear view mirror. I don't see it on the ceiling here either. So I wonder if Volvo just overlooked that. That's kind of interesting. But of course you can get the little clickers on the sun visors, but usually it comes with it. So Interesting. Wireless phone charger does come standard though. You get a dual design rotary knob to turn up and down the volume and things like that for the sound system, which we'll be testing out here in a little bit. Birch decor for the plus trim level, light ash decor for the ultra trim level. I definitely like that. Tailored dashboard and door panels to make it extra fancy. And one of the cooler things about the EX90 is to open up the glove box. There's actually a button within the infotainment screen as opposed to a physical handle on the glove box itself. So I always find that kind of interesting. There's also a ton of storage found just underneath of the cup holders here, and that's all like nice carpeted finish there, so I'm a big fan of that. Of course, you got your cup holders there in the middle, and within the center armrest, there's a decent amount of space in there, and you got a little bit of lighting in there too. You got aluminum speaker covers for the optional Bowers & Wilkins sound system I'll get into here in a second. Those are very high-end feeling. I like the little silver door handle things because it's not actually a door handle, it's just like a little lever you pull up on. I found that kind of interesting. The power window buttons are kind of finished in a silver rectangular finish. They're kind of different as well. So yeah, overall interior quality is 100% on point is what I'm trying to get at here. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen because this is pretty cool. This is a 14.5 inch center infotainment screen. You get Bluetooth and audio streaming, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, which by the way is wireless. Climate control settings you can adjust up there. Your heated steering wheel, your heated seat buttons, they're all up there as well. Climate control settings, of course, to go along with all of that. You got your drive modes up there, of course, to open up the glove box is up there, to open up the trunk is up there, to adjust the headlight settings is up there as well, because there's not an actual stalk for the headlights. It's all done through the infotainment screen. So essentially what I'm getting at is everything is done through the infotainment screen. So that's how that works. And of course, your radio information. So get ready for this. This is going to blow your mind. Like, it blew my mind away. So 14 speaker Bose sound system coming standard. That's wonderful. I love Bose. They do an amazing job. 14 speakers, definitely overkill. However, there is an optional Bowers & Wilkins sound system that goes for $3,200, and that gives you 25 speakers, which is the most amount of speakers I have ever seen in a car in my life. And like I said, I've tested out over 1,000 of them at this point. So I think the next closest thing was Volvo S90 back in the day. It might have been like 19 speakers or something like that. I remember testing that out. And so my top 3 sound systems are now this thing, the S90, and the Acura Integra A-Spec Advanced. I know it doesn't seem like it would be, but it's pretty remarkable. It's like 18 speakers in a tiny little car the size of a Civic. But anyways, 25 speakers. Let me go ahead and turn on the radio here. Let's see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. Pretty ridiculous. Like, the bass is pretty ridiculous. The clarity, pretty ridiculous. The quality of the speakers, pretty ridiculous. Like, the whole sound system, the best possible out there right now. I'm telling you guys, after testing everything, I feel like that's insane. 25 speakers is just remarkable. It's absolutely wonderful. If you like music, it doesn't get any better than the EX90 with the optional Bowers & Wilkins sound system. It's nuts. But anyways, last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on that infotainment screen is when you do put the EX90 in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board. It's pretty high definition as well. You also get that 360-degree monitor there that comes standard for both trim levels, by the way. So that's going to give you that bird's eye view, letting you know who or what is all around you, which is always is going to lead us into safety. And so let me start with the best part. The EX90 is an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, which is the very highest rating given by IIHS, I suppose in typical Volvo fashion there, so that's pretty cool. Front side curtain airbags do come standard, driver and passenger knee airbags up front as well. In the back you got latch, aka lower anchors and tethers to children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard things like pilot assist, occupant sensing, emergency call system, so if you get into an accident, it's going to automatically call you. The car is going to call you and ask if you need the police or an ambulance or whatever the case. You also have a blind spot information system and an auto-dimming rear view mirror and auto-dimming side mirrors as well, which you don't always get. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts, this is a crazy fast 3-row SUV. It's pretty wild. Best sound system in existence. That's always definitely a big plus for me, at least. Super safe. You can't beat an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. It doesn't get any higher than that. Love the interior materials as well. Super high-end finishes. You got the wood trim, the aluminum speakers, and just overall really nice interior. And so that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow Younger Volvo and social media stuff at the bottom of the screen. Be sure to hit the subscribe with the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews and all of our fun YouTube shorts we put on our channel then as well. We do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and we will see you guys all in the next video. Bye.